Clarksville. It is Summer Hemmings with Muse Modern Marketing here with the Joe Padula Show. If you want to know where Joe is at all around Clarksville, text Joe Show to 52236. That's JOESHOW, all one word, to 52236. And you can follow Joe all around. For more marketing tips, go to partnerwithmuse.com. Absolutely.
This is Lawyer Wayne. Check me out at lawyerwayne.com and check me out on TikTok at Lawyer Wayne. You're listening to the Joe Padula Show. Absolutely.
Joe Padula Show, absolutely. Years before, Donald Trump came down the golden escalator. This was in Trump Tower in 2015. This was to announce that he was running for the presidency of the United States. One man already knew what was going to happen. That man, his name is Mark Taylor, and joining us to go over it all, co-author of the book and now movie, The Trump Prophecy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Taylor. What's going on, Mark?
It's going pretty good. Thank you for having me on the show.
Let me tell you, I've been... Let's see, how can I put this, Mark? Divine intervention, right?
Absolutely.
I'm glad you believe in it, because I know I do. Because for some reason, my father sent me videos of you years ago, okay? And he said, and my father, he's an old school Italian guy up in New York, you know? He's like, hey, listen to this guy. And then all of a sudden, boom, I saw you hanging out with the Edge of Wonder guys, Rob and Ben.
Yeah.
Good dudes. They're on the show here. Guys. And I'm like, no way, that's the guy. That's the prophet. So thank you for allowing me to have a conversation with you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey, for more, follow him on Twitter at Patton6966. And also, there's a link to purchase the book on paperback or Kindle. It's listed below right here in this live video feed. And if you want to see what's going on, just go to the Joe Padula Show Facebook page, click like, scroll down, and boom, you'll see the live video feed going. You'll see Shelly on camera. What's up, Shelly?
Hey, Joe.
All right, Shelly, are you a believer?
In what?
In prophecy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. In 2006, okay, this third generation firefighter, okay, he retired, and the Lord visited you and spoke with you and assigned you an angel. Is this what went down in the beginning?
Well, he didn't really speak with me in that particular vision, in that visitation, but there was a lot of things that he showed me in that visitation.
Like the first time that you were visited, okay, what was said to you?
Well, what happened was I came to bed about midnight, and then my wife didn't come to bed till about 1 in the morning. And then so all of a sudden I was caught up in my bedroom. I saw myself on my knees. I was speaking in tongues and writing in the floor in cursive with my right index finger. And all of a sudden I became myself. I was on my knees doing the same thing. I looked in front of me. I saw a dark, ominous cloud, which I knew was God. I looked to my left, my bedroom door, came another cloud, came around behind me and stood to my right. Now, as I was writing in the floor, I was speaking in tongues, and light began to come out of my right finger and my right hand. And while I was doing this, I cannot describe to you the amount of fear that I actually felt. And so after that, I started, almost like I felt like my spirit coming back into my body, and I was in my bed, and I was in the fetal position. Now, my wife came to bed at 1 o'clock, and when I finally looked at the clock, because that fear was still on me, and I was too scared to even open my eyes, afraid of what I might see. So when I did, I looked at the clock and said 1:33. So I rolled over. I looked at my wife. I said, hey, I think I just had a visitation from the Lord. At the time, I was going to an apostolic church at the time. A friend of mine had been a dream interpreter, a certified dream interpreter. So I went to him, and I said, hey, man, this is what happened. And he gave me the interpretation. And he said, Mark, he says, what you had was a visitation from the Lord.
What did your wife think when this was all going on?
She didn't know it was going on until I rolled over and I told her.
Interesting.
And she said, but, you know, in the Bible it talks about when Moses was in front of God, he had to veil his face.
Okay.
And it was kind of the same theory with here, is that she said, even when I spoke to her, my voice was different. So when I went to my friend, he said, look, the cloud in front of you was God. the cloud that came in behind you stood to your right is an angel that's been assigned to you. And he says, you were writing in the carpet, and you were speaking in tongues. And the Bible says that when we speak in tongues, we speak in mysteries.
Have you ever done that before?
Before that time, no.
Wow.
And so if the light coming out of your finger and your hand is the anointing that God's given you, he says, and you wrote whatever it was that you're going to do in the carpet in cursive. He said it will have your own style and flair, because studies have shown that in cursive, everyone does their own style and flair.
That's right.
And so the reason you wrote it in the carpet, he said, because it's going to affect your walk and the walks of others.
Man. So you got the interpretation. All right. And you've never been to Bible college or a certified pastor or anything like this, right?
No, I don't have a degree of any kind hanging on my wall. My grandfather was a Baptist pastor, and my great-grandfather was a Baptist pastor. But I'm not called to be a preacher.
So, but months after this, you became really sick, even like bedridden. Is that accurate? Well, what happened to you?
That's correct. I didn't know what was going on. I went really downhill, and I had severe depression. I had severe anxiety. I lost all kinds of weight. I couldn't eat for 4 and 5 days at a time. I was bedridden for 4 and 5 days at a time. It wasn't until about 4 years later I went to the first Christian doctor, and he found everything was wrong with me. I had a severe low thyroid. I had severe adrenal burnout from running day and night in the fire service. And then I had hormones. I was 70-year-old at 39.
Interesting.
And little did I know after that, I also had Lyme's and the co-infections that go with it.
Mark, that's everything. You got everything wrong with you at this point.
Yeah, everything.
Now, I mean, and you were also having these nightmares, these consistent nightmares. Do you remember these?
That is correct.
These dreams. What was the nightmares about?
Well, they were actually visitations. I had visitations from angels, and then I would have visitations from demons.
Oh, no,
And
screw that. I can't do that, Mark. I can't do demon visits.
Yeah. It was bad. I was getting 2 and 3 in the morning.
Damn.
And it wasn't until this went on for like 3 or 4 years, or 2 or 3 years actually, and nobody could tell me what was going on. None of my dream interpreter friends, prophetic friends could tell me. And it wasn't until I met my head intercessor a couple of years later that all this stopped, because she specializes in generational deliverance. And what it was I've never been a Freemason in my entire life, but I had a Freemason curse placed on me, and which is what was doing that. And it wasn't until we broke that, all that stopped.
Who put the curse on you?
I don't know. I have Freemasons in my family, but I've never been a Freemason, never been a part of it.
You know, I got guys back in Jersey. If you give me a name, we can find out who put that curse on you, all right? We'll fix that. We'll fix that problem. But, I mean, referencing your firefighter and PTSD, you're battling with that. I mean, you were in the bad parts of Orlando. So what were some of the, the worst things that you saw and experienced as a firefighter?
Well, I was in the ghettos, and we turned 12,000 calls a year out of that one station alone.
Damn.
We ran cutting, shooting, stabbings. I mean, you name it, we ran it. I mean, I've had kids burned to death. I've had them decapitated. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
And I'll tell you what, especially firefighters, I'm a veteran, we served over in Kandahar, Afghanistan, especially during a very kinetic time over there. And those stuff, it doesn't go away right away, those images and those memories, if you will, including the smells and the actual the taste, you know what I mean? And and you guys were doing this on a daily basis, pretty much. And I'm not trying to knock a daily basis. So, I mean, overcoming all this and adding this to the nightmares and ever contemplate suicide?
No, I did not ever contemplate that. I did ask the Lord, Lord, I've had enough, just take me home. But I was never suicidal. The thing is that, you don't ever want to be suicidal, number one. But number two, there was always something that kept me holding on, because I knew God was going to do something great or something in my life because of that visitation I had.
Okay.
I noticed he gave me the visitation before all of that really started.
Oh.
And so there was something that kept me hanging on, which was the visitation that I had, and I didn't want to leave my wife either.
I see how it's all like the plan. I like that, because had there been no visit prior to all the crap happening, I mean, who knows? You might have just been tapped out. I'm done. I can't. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now, then on April 28th, 2011, this is still while sick. You pretty much bedridden, right?
For the most part, at that point, yes.
Well, you were watching a TV interview, and it was then businessman Donald Trump was being interviewed, and that's when you said you heard God say to you, what did God say to you?
Well, I was watching him on an interview. I didn't know a lot about Mr. Trump at the time. I just knew he was a very powerful businessman, and he was toying with the idea at the time of running for president. Well, when I saw him on the interview, I was standing in front of my TV, and I just heard the voice of the Lord say, "Hey, you're hearing the voice of a president." So I went in my little bedroom, converted into an office in here. I sat down like the Apostle Paul did. I put pen to paper and just wrote what the Holy Spirit was telling me, which was April 28, 2011, which was the Commander-in-Chief prophecy.
So originally it was called the Commander-in-Chief prophecy.
Correct.
Man. I mean, what did you think was happening at this point? And are you telling other people? Are you, I know you're writing it down because to somebody that doesn't understand, they got to be like, this is crazy stuff.
Right. You know, the thing is, I didn't have really a voice too much. The Lord isolated me for about 10 years here in my house. I mean, I could go out to eat at times. My health was like up and down. It was like a roller coaster. There was times I could get out and do a little bit. I just didn't have the energy to do it. But I didn't have a voice at the time. So I had really no one to share it with except for family and maybe a couple of friends.
And the family was pretty supportive and believed you?
They did at the time. But, you know, look, even at times when you think something's going to happen or you think that it's a certain time for something to happen, you know, God can always step in and say, no, it's not time yet, and it delays it for another time. You know what I mean?
I do. So, okay, April 28, 2011, boom. God says, hey, it's going to be Donald Trump. And Donald's like, yes, right. I agree. It's going to be me. You'll see.
Wow.
I like Trump. He speaks like me. You know, I understand his language. But at this time, it's the 2012 election that's just going on. And it was Barack Obama, but Trump wasn't in there. I mean, it was Mitt Romney.
Right. If you notice in the prophecy, it says, and I didn't even notice this until someone pointed out to me, it says in there, when he announces. And see, even me as the prophetic voice, I thought it might have been for 2012, but it was actually for 2016.
All right. So, but you were still thinking maybe this could have been 2012. Or did you have any doubts after you saw it was Romney and Barack Obama beat Romney?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, at the time, again, I was sick. You know, I laid it aside, and the Lord had me write another prophecy about another Triple Crown winner coming.
A triple,
and
okay.
And then he also had me write he says, I want you to go back, and I want you to rewrite General Eisenhower's D-Day speech, and I want you to address it to my army. I said, okay, Lord. So I set all this stuff aside. Well, 2012 came and went. And it wasn't until after Donald Trump came in office that the Lord revealed to me, he says, the reason I postponed it is because I allowed Obama to win because America needed to get to a place where they were saying enough is enough. And he says they hadn't gotten there yet.
So you continue doing your journaling all the accounts of your dreams, and this is going on. And then now it's 2016, okay? Now Trump.
2015.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh,
and then
right.
Trump announces, let's see, wait a minute, let me back up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It says, in 2015, we have the first Triple Crown winner. That was on June 6th. Now, I was on the phone with my sister, and I'm thinking, wow. You know, I pulled the prophecy out about the Triple Crown winner.
Right.
And then my sister goes, wait a minute, what's today? It's D-Day.
Oh.
I heard the Lord say, here's the speech. Pull the speech out.
There it
10
is.
10 days later, Donald Trump says, I'm running for office. All three of those things get activated in a 10-day period.
Unbelievable. Unreal. Hey, I'm glad you didn't, put any bets on it, because I think that would have tainted everything, right? How do you know it? Right? Yeah, so that's good. Thank you for having integrity. That is good. But, so now here it is. The 2016 election's kicking off in 2015. 2016 comes around. Now this is where you share your writings with your doctor at the time and his wife. Why did you feel the need to tell them about the visits and the voices, and what was their reactions?
I came into my doctor one day because my first doctor that got me where I needed to be, he got a lucrative offer. He closed his practice, so I had to find another one. So when I found the second one, I went to him. He was a Christian. I handed him a folder full of writing. Says, "Hey, there's a prophecy in there about Donald Trump becoming president, this, that, and the other."
Did they laugh?
So he shared it with us. No, because they were very big into prophecy.
Interesting.
And so he took it to his wife. They went crazy about it. They shared it with another person on news media, and then I got an interview with those guys, and that was it. It just took off from there.
I mean, you ain't kidding with the taking off, too, because, I mean, this, you guys started the book, okay, and then this whole phone-based prayer chain started. I mean, we're talking about 100,000 callers a day, and it was a number so high that it even shut down a few servers out there. But the news and the polls were not giving Donald Trump any chance of victory over Hillary Clinton, if we all remember. I mean, did these reports and these polls, did these concern you or even shake your faith?
Even you can have the strongest faith in the world, and there always comes a time when you're going to question something. You know what I mean?
Every day, and I feel bad about it.
We're only human here.
Right.
And so at some point you got to say, okay, Lord, I just hand this all over to you because this is what you told me, and you've given too many prophetic signs since all of this that I know this has got to come to pass.
And then what's interesting, too, because the doctor's wife, well, something was said to the doctor's wife in regards to the Belmont Stakes horse race. It's interesting with the horse race again. In June of 2016, do you remember what that was?
It was something to do, I think he told her to look at the Belmont Stakes, see who the winner was. I can't remember who the horse was that won, and it was a sign also.
Creator. Yes, that's right, Creator.
There you go. Creator wins.
And the Creator always wins. Creator's who? God, right, the man upstairs.
That's right.
Man. Now, but then, on November 8, 2016, for the first time, we heard broadcasted President-elect Donald Trump. What did you do that night?
Cried. Me and my wife
cried. Cried.
I mean, we were up all night watching the polls coming in, and
that was some day.
They had delayed it to like 3 a.m.
Right.
And then
you stayed up the whole time, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that was one thing. The movie that they portrayed us, me and my wife going to bed, that was not true.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
We were up. Yeah, we were up all night.
Yeah, Hollywood.
And,
they always get it wrong, right?
Yeah. And so we just looked at one another. We were just kind of tearing up, crying. I mean, it was just incredible because God just performed one of the biggest miracles since the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, as far as I'm concerned. Because everybody at that time, brother, was screaming, America's under judgment, it's going down. A bunch of prophetic voices, even all these doom and gloom pastors were trying to create that scenario. And what I tell people is that if America was under judgment, Hillary Clinton would have been in office, and this thing would have already been over with.
Unreal.
There's a reason why God put Donald Trump in office, because there's something great that God wants to do on the earth right now.
When he got elected, were you contacted by supporters or even the doubters? Did any of the doubters say, "Hey, wow"?
None of the doubters. I got contacted by some people who wanted to do interviews and stuff like that with me.
Right.
Kind of slowly crept up a little bit.
Man, what was told to you through the years? That was I don't know. I mean, it was more than just the election of President Donald Trump in these prophecies that have been bestowed to you. It looks like some maybe even have already begun to come to fruition here. Like what was said about Israel?
The ties between America and Israel will be the strongest they've ever been, which we're seeing that. God had said that the energy was going to turn around. We'd be energy independent. And
you wrote energy.
Yes, correct. And I also wrote in 2015, before Trump came into office, that Hillary Clinton was going to go down, that Obama was going to go down. He would be ripped and stripped of the presidency. And I got attacked for that one hard.
Oh, I bet.
That he'd be arrested. I believe he's going to be charged with treason. But at the time, they thought that, well, he's going to get impeached while he's still in office. And I said, no, I don't think that's what that is. I think it's after the fact he will be arrested and charged with treason, which is really the only way you can rip and strip a president of the title of presidency.
Do you think it's going to come down to some of this Ukraine stuff and with all the corruption?
I think you're going to see, I've been saying for a long time now, warning the people that there was going to be mass arrests. Wow. That they would have to be very careful how they dealt with this because they could take down parts of government. That was like 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, right after Trump got in. And so you're seeing that happening right now. You're seeing people arrested. They're cleaning up the global pedophiles. They're going after the cabal.
You ain't kidding. Look what happened today, even with Weinstein.
That's right.
Unreal. It's all it is all being taken care. I mean, Epstein also. I mean, unbelievable.
Right.
You know, what were some of the prophecies that said about the economy?
The economy would be stronger than it's ever been. The dollar would be the strongest it's ever been. Now, the dollar. This is where you have to be careful with prophecies because we rehearse this movie in our head sometimes.
Okay.
That we think it's going to come to pass one way, and when it doesn't, then we go, okay, that was a false prophecy. But when in fact it was something else.
Right.
And so, you know what I mean? That's where we got to be careful. So it could be the new dollar that's coming because I do believe they're going to take the Fed down at some time and they're going to back the currency with gold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, as you see, our economy, even with this most recent scare and panic stuff, the economy is still looking strong. Job numbers and people working is a beautiful thing. What was said about the Supreme Court?
Supreme Court, I said one was going to die. Two were going to retire.
Anthony Scalia, he died.
No, I'm sorry. It was going to be one was going to die, one was going to retire, and three would be caught in a scandal.
Kennedy retired.
Now,
Scalia died, right?
Right.
Scandal.
And we're still waiting on the next three. Now, here's what I tell people about this. We may never know what that scandal is. They just may say, hey, I'm retiring out and I'm done.
Military
Can you
tribunal.
imagine three judges being caught in a scandal, being removed. It would almost cause a civil war.
Right. You know, the old, like when I would screw up on the job, okay, and I worked for my father, right, and I was going to be sent home, right, instead of being sent home because of being reprimanded, I would have to tell them I was sick, right, and I would have to leave. That's exactly how it is. They are sick.
Exactly.
Now,
anyhow, when God replaces those five judges, he's going to reform the Supreme Court. And there may be a possibility he could actually get six. But when he reforms the court, Roe versus Wade will be taken down.
Wow. That's a bold one right there. I mean, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of flack for putting that out there.
I've gotten a lot of flack for that. I've gotten a lot of flack for saying that there was going to be mass arrests. I got a lot of flack for saying that there would be military tribunals that would make Nuremberg look like a cakewalk.
What were the prophecies about the media?
The media was going to get cleaned out, and some of them were going to go down. And one of them, I even said that, where's my millionaires and my billionaires? Why aren't they buying these news media organizations out and taking over?
Interesting. I mean, and like the fake news. Look what the lawsuits are coming now, with the defamation lawsuits that are all happening with the CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post. Right? I mean, unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's going to be part of taking a lot of these guys down. Exposing them, taking them to court where they got to disclose certain things. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all know who's behind the fake news media, you know. So I mean, that's why Trump's been hammering them from day one.
Well, what do you say to those who don't like or support President Trump because of his tweets or his New York style of speaking and dealing with others?
Well, there was a big controversy, if you remember, Al. A lot of people came out against him because he had used that locker room language and this that, and the other. Even some big-name evangelicals came out hammering him.
I remember.
And I called them out on it. I said, let me tell you something. That was what's about the Christian – everything that's about the Christian walk is that whatever you did before you were saved has been forgotten and washed clean in the blood of Jesus. So why are you even bringing this up about this man? This man is now a Christian. His sins have been forgiven. They're washed clean. So this is exactly why people don't want anything to do with the church or you pastors, these hypocrites in the pulpit, because you people keep doing this. Why would anybody want to walk into a church and tell you they're past?
Oh, I'm sure they weren't happy you said that. Is Donald Trump a born-again Christian?
Yes. I absolutely, I believe he is.
What was said about the United States as a whole, as a leader on this earth?
I think the president, well, I know the president was chosen for many different reasons, but one of them was to literally to institute justice on the earth, which is what you're seeing with the cabal roundup. The cabal roundup. That's taking place or fixing to take place.
Man. Now, going on with the earth, currently, what are your thoughts on the panic with the coronavirus, COVID-19?
I think it's absolutely what they've done is just an atrocity, honestly, because it's hard to get the truth out of anybody, so it's kind of hard to discern really what's going on. But I think mainly more people have died from the regular flu than they have from coronavirus.
Right, right.
And I think they're using this because, look, what the enemy meant for bad, God will always use for good. So if it is a bioweapon and China has released it or whatever, you can't tell me that these people all over the earth, this thing's spreading that fast. There's just no way. I think it's maybe something as a regular flu, but I think what also they're going to do is going to use this as cover to go in and start making arrests. Don't you find it a little funny that 30,000 troops were just moved over to Europe and in a training exercise, and Italy's on all of lockdown, the entire country?
That's right.
Because one of the most wicked places on earth is the Vatican.
Oh.
Don't you find that a little strange that Russia's not squawking that we got 30,000 troops over there right now?
Okay, I'm tracking.
So you see what I'm saying?
I do.
And then I wrote that prophecy about the USA and Russia working together to take down the cabal, because if you listen to Putin cannot stand George Soros.
Right.
He can't stand the cabal.
Right.
So he's actually going after him, trying to clean him up as well. I think him and the president, or us and Russia, are working together to take these guys down.
And of course, who doesn't want that to happen? But those involved with the cabal, right?
Right, exactly. So this is a good thing. And I think at some point they're going to take the Fed down. Notice that all of this is coming together at one time when you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, because he's been attacking the Fed now for the last couple of weeks hard.
Yeah. And didn't the Fed just lower?
Yeah, I think he's going to try and get him down to zero.
Zero. Oh my God. Well, I'm looking to buy a house soon. If he can, if that can happen a little bit faster, I'm just. You know, it's not about me. It's not about me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, though, I mean, what do you have to say to those concerned about the stock market's recent reaction to the virus scare and everything that's being put out there?
Well, again, we got to look at the timing on this and put the pieces of the puzzle together. Why is the stock market taking a hit? Because we all knew there was going to be a reset at some point.
Yeah.
Does this reset have to do with taking the Fed down?
Shelley.
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's just the natural time for a reset, and it just happens to be right now.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna boom right back though. Mm-hmm. I heard a story. I heard nothing. I can't say it. I don't know. But
I mean, you got to look at the timing on all of this, because I mean, is it coincidence? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that they're chipping away at the Fed. They're chipping away at it, and he's going to get these rates down to zero at some point, which is what he was calling for. He was even calling for a negative zero, I think, which I don't know how that works.
Do they owe you money for?
Oh yeah. I'm down for that. Yeah. Here. We owe you this.
But yeah, so I mean, at some point he's going to do this, and so I think he's just trying to wake people up. That's the biggest part of this whole plan, is trying to wake people up to the point where they know what's going on, so that it doesn't look like he's going in and there's a military takeover going on.
Right. Now, who will win the 2020 presidential election?
Oh, Donald Trump, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking like Bernie. You see those numbers last night? Oh, yeah. No, he didn't do well at all. Those Bernie bros are upset.
He's being used and abused. They're paying him good money.
Yeah.
To do what he's doing, and I think at some point he'll drop out. Of course.
Yeah.
It may go to a broker convention, and then you may see either Michelle Obama jump in this thing, or more importantly, Hillary Clinton again.
You don't think it's going to be Biden? You think it's, like you just said, it's a prop?
I don't know. It could be. I'm not prophesying.
Yeah, right. True.
What I'm feeling. So,
right. I hear you, because how could they, I mean, the gaffes are gaffes. I think the guy has dementia.
Yeah. He's either a very good actor, or this is on. This is why they're talking about now on Fox. They were talking about actually canceling the rest of the primaries and giving it to Biden.
No.
Because I think they're afraid of the gaffes.
Man, I feel bad for Tulsi. She got pretty screwed out of all this too.
I'm just wondering now if he's even going to make it to the election, because every time this guy's on camera, something else comes out.
Right. You ain't kidding. I mean, the guy can't even go to a auto worker place without getting into a shouting match.
I'm surprised some of those guys didn't mop the concrete with him.
Let me tell you something, Mark. I was like, hey, yo, Tony, what are you going to take that? Right. But no. They did the Christian thing. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you know about 2024 election?
The Lord hasn't shown me anything specifically for that election, but I will say this. The Lord gave me a dream, and it was about maybe 6 months ago. And in the dream, I saw Donald Trump Jr. And over to the right, it's like I didn't see him, but I knew that it was JFK Jr. Now, I'm not saying JFK Jr. is alive. I'm not saying he's dead. I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. I think he's still around.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Right?
But I mean, I think God was trying to put an emphasis on the junior part.
Interesting.
Could there be a junior ticket?
Could you imagine that?
I do believe so. But it may not be JFK Jr. It could
Right.
be another junior. This is where we got to be careful.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I do know this. There's going to be more than one Trump in the White House. So we're going to have a Trump dynasty, I believe. And I believe Junior is going to be one of the ones that's going to be in the White House because God gave me that dream for a reason. So, I mean, is it a junior ticket again? I don't know. We'll find out.
On Monday, March 9th, 2020, this our Lord's year, you tweeted this, quote, "Had a dream last night. Civil War time setting. President Trump was on his horse and with sword drawn, rallying his troops, patriots. We were all lining up, getting ready for battle. God is preparing his troops to get ready for what's about to take place. Armor up, victory."
Right.
What? I don't know. Can you elaborate? Can you go deeper?
Yeah. So, again, I think that this coronavirus is a cover for some things that are taking place right now. I think they're going in there and making some arrests at places. Now, is it the arrests that we're wanting to see, like Hillary and Obama? I don't know. But they may be cleaning up some of these cabal pedophiles all over the earth right now. And we all know that there's a ton of them in Italy, especially in the Vatican right now.
Right. Interesting.
But the point is that the president had his sword drawn, and he was like rallying the troops. He was on his horse, and I was helping line people up, getting ready to go into battle for what was about to take place. And I think a lot about what's happening right now is already taking place as we're speaking. Now, again, does he arrest the big ones before the election or after the election? I don't know the timing on that. That's
Right.
the whole thing.
Right.
So are we coming up to this? Are they fixing to take the Fed down here in a little while? I don't know. So, I mean, all these things are coming together here in a crescendo.
Now, we got this, and this might be another selfish one, but does Melania have a sister?
No, Joe.
Oh, come on. I want to be a part of the team. I'm just trying to get in. But I'll tell you what. I mean, this is something, and I truly believe that God chose a firefighter, a rescuer, okay, to help spread the word of rescue and salvage. It's just too much of a coincidence, and that's unreal, brother. I love that you're able to have this gift and able to share it with people in such an eloquent way.
I don't take any glory for it. I give it all to the Lord Jesus Christ, period. I don't have a degree of any kind hanging on my wall. I'm just an everyday, normal, common guy, and anybody can do this. Anybody can listen to the voice of the Lord, and he can tell you what's coming.
That's what's up. Mark, I would love to have you on more often and, talk about some of these things, especially when it looks like some of them may be coming to fruition.
Yes, absolutely, and I would be more than honored to come back on your show anytime, brother.
I appreciate you, Mark. I mean, you got to make sure to follow him on Twitter. On Twitter, why Patton6966 as the handle for Twitter?
Yep, Patton is for General Patton.
That's right.
He's kind of my hero. And 6966, everybody says, "Oh, that's the mark of the beast." No, it's not. It was my employee number at the fire department.
Okay, good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I asked the Lord one day, I said, "Why'd you give me that number?" And he says, "Because notice the sixes are divided by 9. 9 is the number for judgment." He said, "I have called you to prophesy judgment on the systems."
Wow. Unbelievable. Isn't that crazy? I love how it all works. He's like, he's like, I don't know, what is it, from the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together. I picture God up there with a big cigar. And I love cigars. That's my problem. But and don't forget, you got to purchase the book. Get it on paperback or Kindle. The link is listed in this live video feed, and we'll post it up to the social media sites and the website too. But Mark Taylor, what a story! And tell the wife I said, hey, how you doing? All right, and when you guys get to the area, Middle Tennessee, we'll take you guys out to dinner.
Hey, sounds great. Thank you for having me on, brother. God bless you guys.
God bless you, Mark Taylor.
All right, bye-bye.
There he goes, Mark Taylor. Interesting.
Yes.
Shelly, most interesting thing you got out of it?
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
it was really interesting to me that he didn't know that he was having a vision when he had one.
Right.
Like he had to be awoke to that fact.
Okay.
Because I feel like we should just know things, but then we don't.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe I will
like
soon.
Other people who may be experiencing the same thing, maybe they are also having visits and they don't know.
And they don't even realize they're
Right.
being visited. Right. Whew. Man, the Vatican, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
I already knew that.
Italy? Yeah.
Ciao.
Oh, boy. Piacere. Piacere. Okay. All right. Well, hey, appreciate Mark calling in this special one-on-one with the prophet, Mark Taylor, here on the Joe Padula Show. Well, we got a little bit coming up in a bit, so we'll be right back on. Absolutely.